I cannot leave this place. The performance was over hours ago, and yet I linger. That warm bed and crackling fire that awaits me not 200 meters from this very spot is not home. This is my home. This is my sanctuary. This is my heaven. How fortunate I am not having to wait till death wraps me in its arms and delivers me to Valhalla. I'm there, years before my appointed time. Do you feel as I do about the theater? Is the aroma of that aged and creaking wood that shapes and forms this temple not ambrosia? Was there ever a glass or mirror more beautiful, more truthful in its reflection of this absurd planet than that precise and perfectly dimensioned jewel box we refer to as the stage? Do you hear voices? Do you see shadows? Do you feel life in this now dark and empty cathedral? I do. I hear music, knowing full well the instruments were stored safely away hours ago. I hear laughter, rising, falling, echoing joyfully from muraled ceiling to polished floor. I feel passion, I sense danger, I share sorrow, I experience death. I dare not go home, for I never know when the drama will begin. If indeed it is a drama. The players are all here in my mind, waiting for the flash of an idea for the curtain to rise. Preparing in their tiny little cubicles, pacing nervously in their minuscule dressing rooms until this crazed creature achieves inspiration and calls out, "Ladies and gentlemen, places, please." Oh, God, will it never cease? What force is it that compels me to write so incessantly, day after day, page after page, story after story? Well, the answer's simple. I have no choice. I'm a writer. And while I'm writing, I enjoy it. And I like reading the proofs. But as soon as it appears in print, I cannot bear it. I see that it's all wrong, a mistake, that it ought never to have been written, and I'm miserable. And then the public reads it. Oh, yes, charming, clever, charming, but a far cry from Tolstoy. Or, a fine thing, but Turgenev's Fathers and Sons is better. And so it will be till my dying day, charming and clever, nothing more. And when I die, my friends will walk by my grave and say, "Oh, there lies so-and-so, a good writer, but Turgenev was better." Sometimes I think I should give it up one day. What would I do instead? Well, I've never freely admitted this before, but I would like to tell you what I would most like to do with my life. Ever since I was a small child, I always... Excuse me a moment, just making a note. An idea just occurred to me, a subject for a short story. Here. It was my mentioning the theater that sparked me. Oh, what was it we were talking about a moment ago? No matter. My thoughts are consumed by this new story. See if this appeals to you. It starts in the theater. It starts on the opening night of the new season. It starts with the arrival of all those dear, devoted patrons of the arts who wave and greet each other in the grand salon, commenting on how this one looks and how that one is dressed, scarcely knowing what play they're about to see that evening, with the exception of one man, Ivan Ilyich Cherdyakov. If Ivan Ilyich Cherdyakov, a civil servant, a clerk in the Ministry of Public Parks, had any passion in life at all, it was the theater. He certainly had hopes and ambitions for higher office and had dedicated his life to hard work, zeal, and patience. Still, he would not deny himself his one great pleasure, so he purchased 2 tickets in the very best section of the theater for the opening night performance. As fortune would have it, into the theater that night came his respected superior, General Mikhail Brasilov, the Minister of Public Parks himself. What an opportunity for Cherdyakov.
Good evening, General.
What? Oh, yes. Good evening.
Who is that?
I know.
Permit me, sir. I am Cherdyakov, Ivan Ilyich. This is a great honor for me, sir.
Yes.
Like yourself, dear General, I too serve the Ministry of Public Parks. That is to say, I serve you, who is indeed himself the Minister of Public Parks. I am the Assistant Chief Clerk in the Department of Trees and Bushes.
Oh, yes. Hey, keep up the good work. Lovely trees and bushes this year. Very nice.
Train got in. Thank God. What time is it?
Oh, it's nearly 2. Oh, it's daylight already.
But how late was the train? 2 hours at least. I'm a fine one, I am.
My wife would like very much to say hello, General. This is she, my wife, Madame Chekhov.
How do you do? My pleasure, General.
Madame Vasilov, my wife, Madame Chekhov.
How do you do, Madame Vasilov? I just had the pleasure of meeting your husband.
And I am my wife's husband. How do you do, Madame Vasilov?
How do you do?
How do you do?
Sorry.
So sorry.
And then there's the luggage and one thing and another.
I hope you enjoy the play, General.
I will if I can watch it. Abroad 5 years. I don't know what she's like now. Feeling quite pleased with himself for having made the most of this golden opportunity, Chekhov sat back to enjoy the play. He was no longer a stranger to the Minister of Public Parks. They had become, if one wished to be generous about the matter, familiar with each other. Then suddenly, without any warning, like a bolt from a gray, thundering sky, Chekhov reared his head back and...
Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry, Your Excellency. I'm so terribly sorry.
Never mind, it's all right.
All right, it certainly is not all right. It's unforgivable. It's unpardonable. It was monstrous.
Too much of the matter. Let it rest.
How can I let it rest, sir? It was unforgivable. Permit me to wipe your neck, General. It's the least I can do.
Leave it be. It's all right, I say.
But I splattered you, sir. Your complete head is splattered. It was an accident, I assure you, but it's disgusting.
And all night long, the dogs were not asleep.
The thing is, Your Excellency, it came completely without warning. It was out of my nose before I could stifle it. Yes, certainly, I'm sorry.
You're all dressed up like a lady and your hair all done.
It's not a cold, if that's what you're worried about, sir. Probably a particle of dust in the nostril.
My lovely, beautiful orchard. My life. My youth. My happiness. Goodbye. Yo!
But try as he might, Chekhov could not put the incident out of his mind. The sneeze, no more than an innocent anatomical accident, grew out of all proportion in his mind till it resembled the angry roar of a cannon aimed squarely at the enemy camp. He played the incident back in his mind, slowing the procedure down so he could view again in horror the infamous deed.
Charming. Charming.
Oh, yes, charm.
Charming.
Oh,
Simply charmant. Wasn't it charmant, my dear?
I found it utterly charming.
Yes, I was completely charmed by
Were you? Because I was...
Excuse me, Your Excellency.
Who's tapping? Somebody's tapping me. Who's that tapping?
I'm tapping, sir. I'm the tapper, Chekhov.
Stand back, dear. It's the sneezer.
No, it's all right. I'm all sneezed out. I was just concerned about your going out into the night air with a damp head.
Oh, that. It was a trifle, a mere faux pas. Forget it, young man. Amusing play, don't you think? Did you find it amusant?
Amusant? Oh. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness, yes. So true. I haven't laughed as much in years.
Which part interested you the most?
The sneeze, when I sneezed on you, it was unforgivable, sir.
Forget it, young man. Forget it. Come, my dear. It looks like rain. I don't want to get my head wet again.
You shouldn't let people sneeze at you, dear. You're not to be sneezed at. When somebody sneezes, you should just...
I'm ruined. Ruined. He'll have me fired from trees and bushes. They'll send me down to branches and twigs.
Oh, come, Ivan.
What?
You mustn't let it concern you. It was a harmless little sneeze. The General has probably forgotten about it already.
Yes, perhaps you're right.
But perhaps I'm wrong.
And so they sat there in despair.
Perhaps I should send him a nice gift. Maybe some Turkish towels.
Cherdyakov's once promising career had literally been blown away.
Why did this happen to me? Why did I go to the theater at all? Why didn't I sit in the balcony with people of our own class? They love sneezing on each other.
Oh, let's go home, Ivan.
Perhaps if I were to call on the General again and explain matters once again, but this time in such a charming, honest, and self-effacing manner, he would have no choice but to forgive me.
Maybe it's best not to remind him.
No, no. If I ever expect to become a gentleman, I must behave like one.
And so morning came. It so happened this was the day the General listened to petitions. And since there were 50 or 60 petitioners there ahead of Cherdyakov, he waited from morning till late afternoon.
Next. Next.
I'm not next, Your Excellency. I'm last.
Very well, then. Last.
That's me, sir.
Well, what is your petition?
I have no petition. I'm not a petitioner, sir.
Then you waste my time.
Do you not recognize me, Your Excellency? We met last night under rather explosive circumstances. I am the splatterer.
The what?
The sneezer. The one who sneezed, the sneezing splatterer.
Indeed. And what is it you want now? A Gesundheit?
No, Your Excellency. Your forgiveness. I just wanted to point out there was no political or antisocial motivation behind my sneeze. It was a non-violent, nonpartisan act of God. I curse the day the protuberance formed itself on my face. It is a hateful nose, sir, and I am not responsible for its indiscretions. Punish that which committed the crime, but absolve the innocent body behind it. Exile my nose, but forgive me, your kindship. Forgive me. Forgive me.
My dear young man, I am not angry with your nose. I am too busy to hold grudges against noses. I suggest you go home and take a hot bath. Or a cold one. Take something. But don't bother me with this silly business again. Gibber, gibber, gibber. That's all I've heard all day. Gibber, 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 gibber.
Thank you, sir. God bless you and your wife and your household. May your days be sweet, and may your nights be better than your days.
The feeling of relief that came over Cherdyakov was enormous.
May the birds sing in the morning at your window, and may the coffee in your cup be strong and hot.
The weight of the burden that was lifted was inestimable.
I worship the chair you sit on, and the uniform you wear that sits on the chair that I worship.
He walked home singing and whistling like a lark. Life was indeed a marvel, a joy, a heavenly paradise.
Oh, God, I am happy.
And yet,
And yet,
when he arrived home, he began to think.
have I been the butt of a cruel and thoughtless joke?
Had the minister toyed with him?
If he had no intention of punishing me, why did he torment me so unmercifully?
If the sneeze meant so little to the minister, why did he deliberately cause Cherdyakov to writhe in his bed?
To twist in agony the entire night.
Cherdyakov was furious.
I am furious.
He foamed and fumed and paced the night through, and in the morning he called out to his wife, Sonia!
Sonia! I have been humiliated.
You, Ivan. Who would humiliate you? You're such a kind and generous person.
Who? I'll tell you who. General Brasilov, the Minister of Public Parks.
What did he do?
The swine. I was humiliated in such subtle fashion, it was almost indiscernible. The man's cunning is equal only to his cruelty. He practically forced me to come to his office to grovel and beg on my knees. I was reduced to a gibbering idiot.
Was that reduced?
I must go back and tell him what I think of him. The lower classes must speak up. The world must be made safe so that men of all nations and creeds, regardless of color or religion, will be free to sneeze on their superiors. It is he who will be humiliated by I.
And so the next morning, Cherdyakov came to humiliate he.
Last. Well,
Well, you say?
yes. Well,
Do you not recognize me, Your Excellency? Look at my face. Yes, you are quite correct. It is I once again.
It is you once again who?
Chekhov. I have returned, having taken neither a hot bath nor a cold one.
Who let this filthy man in? Well, what is it?
What is it? What is it, you ask? You sit there behind your desk and ask, what is it? You sit there in your lofty position as General and Minister of Public Parks and ask me, a lowly civil servant, what is it? You sit there with full knowledge that there is no equality in this life, that there are those of us who serve and those that are served, those of us that obey and those that are obeyed, that in this life certain events take place that cause some of us to be humiliated and those that are the cause of this humiliation, and still you ask, what is it?
What is it? Don't stand there gibbering like an idiot. What is it you want?
I'll tell you what I want. I wanted to apologize again for sneezing on you. I wasn't sure I made it clear. It was an accident. It was an accident, I assure you, but I...
Out!
See, I did...
Out, you idiot! Fool! Imbecile! Get out of my sight! I never want to see you again. If you ever cross my line of vision, I'll have you exiled forever. What's your name? You germ spreader. Maggot. Insect. You are lower than an insect. You are the second cousin to a cockroach, the son-in-law of a bedbug. You are the nephew of a ringworm. You are nothing. Nothing. Do you hear me? Nothing!
At that moment, something broke loose inside of Chekhov. Something so deep and vital, so organic, that the damage that was done seemed irreparable. Something drained from him that can only be described as the very life force itself. The matter was over, for once, for all, forever. What happened next was quite simple. Ivan Ilyich Chekhov arrived at home, removed his coat, lay down on his sofa, and died. Oh, wait. For those who are offended by life's cruelty, there is an alternate ending. Ivan Ilyich Chekhov arrived at home, removed his coat, lay down on his sofa, and inherited 5 million rubles. Not much point to it, but it is uplifting. I assure you, it's not my intention to paint life any harsher than it is, but some of us are indeed trapped. Witness the predicament of a young governess who cares for and educates the children of a well-to-do family.
Julia?
Trapped indeed.
Julia? Yes, madame.
Look at me, child. Pick your head up. I like to see your eyes when I speak to you.
Yes, madame.
And how are the children coming along with their French lessons?
Oh, they're very bright children, madame.
Eyes up. Very bright, you say. Well, why not? And mathematics? They're doing well in mathematics, I assume.
Yes, madame, especially Vanya.
Oh, yes. Why not? I excelled in mathematics. He gets it from his mother, wouldn't you say?
Yes, madame.
Head up. That's it. Don't be afraid to look people in the eyes, my dear. If you think of yourself as inferior, that's exactly how people will treat you.
Yes, ma'am.
Quiet girl, aren't you? Now then, let's settle our accounts. I imagine that you must need money, although you never ask me for it yourself. Let's see now. We agreed on 30 rubles a month, did we not?
40, ma'am.
No, 30. I made a note of it. I always pay my governesses 30. Who told you 40?
You did, ma'am.
Huh?
I spoke to no one else concerning money.
That's impossible. Perhaps you thought you heard 40 when I said 30. If you kept your head up, that never would have happened. Look at me again, and I'll say it clearly. 30 rubles a month.
Yes, ma'am. If you say so, ma'am.
That's settled. 30 a month it is. Now then, you've been here 2 months exactly.
2 months and 5 days.
No. Exactly 2 months. You should keep books the way I do, then there wouldn't be these little discrepancies. Now then, 2 months at 30 rubles a month, that comes to 60 rubles, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Subtract 9 Sundays. We did agree to subtract Sundays, didn't we?
No, ma'am.
Eyes? Well, certainly we did. I always subtract Sundays. I didn't even bother to make a note of it because I always do it. Don't you recall when I said that we would subtract Sundays?
No, ma'am.
Think.
No, ma'am.
You're not thinking. Your eyes are wandering. Look straight at my face and look hard. Do you remember now?
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't hear you, Julia.
Yes, ma'am.
Good girl. I was sure that you'd remember. Plus 3 holidays. Correct?
2, Christmas and New Year's.
And your birthday, that's 3.
Oh, but I worked on my birthday, ma'am.
You did? There was no need to. My governesses never work on their birthdays.
But I did work.
But that's not the point, Julia. We're discussing financial matters now. I will, however, if you insist, only count 2 holidays. Do you insist?
I did work, ma'am.
Then you do insist.
No, ma'am.
Very well. That's 3 holidays. Therefore, we take off 12 rubles. Oh, would you?
Yes, ma'am.
You. Now then, 4 days, little Kolya was sick, and there were no lessons.
Oh, I gave lessons to Vanya.
Oh, true, but I engaged you to teach 2 children, not 1. Should I pay you in full for doing only half the work?
No, ma'am.
So we'll deduct it. And for 3 days, you had a toothache, and my husband gave you permission not to work until after lunch.
Oh, until 4. I worked until 4, ma'am.
Oh. It says here, did not work after lunch. Now, we have lunch at 1, and we're finished at 2, not at 4, correct?
Yes, ma'am, but
That's another 7 rubles. 7 and 12. 19, subtract, that leaves 41 rubles, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Sit down. Sit.
Oh.
Now then. On January 4th, you broke a teacup and a saucer. Is that true?
Oh, just the saucer, ma'am.
Well, what good is a teacup without a saucer, huh? Hmm? That's another 2 rubles. Of course, the saucer was an heirloom, and it cost much more. But let it go. Let it go. I'm used to taking losses. On January 9th, Kolya climbed a tree and tore his jacket.
I forbid him to do so, ma'am.
Yes, but he didn't listen, did he? That's another 10 rubles. And on January 14th, Vanya's shoes were stolen.
By the maid. What, you discharged her yourself?
Yes, but you get paid good money to watch everything. Now, I explained that to you at our first meeting. Perhaps you didn't listen. Were you listening, Julia, or was your head in the clouds?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Your head was in the clouds?
Oh, no, ma'am. I was listening.
Good girl. That is another 5 rubles off. The 16th of January, I gave you 10 rubles.
You didn't.
Well, I made a note of it. Why would I make a note of it? I didn't give it to you.
I don't know, ma'am.
That's not a satisfactory answer, Julia. Why would I make a note of giving you 10 rubles if I did not, in fact, give it to you? Huh? No answer? Well, I must have given it to you then, mustn't I?
Yes, ma'am, if you say so, ma'am.
Well, certainly I say so. That's the point of this little talk, to clear these matters up. Now, take 27 from 41. That leaves 14. Correct? What is this, Julia? Tears? Are you crying? Something happened to make you unhappy? Please tell me. Pains me to see you like this. I'm so sensitive to tears. What is it? What is it?
Only once since I've been here has anyone given me any money. That was by your husband on my birthday. He gave me 3 rubles.
Really? Well, I have no note of it in my book. I'll put it down now. 3 rubles. Thank you for telling me. Sometimes I'm a little lax in my account. I'm always shortchanging myself. Take 3 more from 14. That leaves 11. Do you wish to check my figures?
There's no need to, ma'am.
No? Then we're all settled. Here is your salary for 2 months. 11 rubles. Count it.
Oh, that's not necessary.
No. Let's keep the record straight. Count it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's only 10, ma'am.
That's not possible. Perhaps you dropped one. Look on the floor. See if there's a coin there.
No, ma'am, I didn't drop any.
Oh, well, there's nothing on my desk. I know that I gave you 11 rubles. Look on the floor. Look.
It's all right. The 10 rubles will be just fine.
Very well, then. Keep the 10 for now, and if we don't find it on the floor later, we'll discuss it again next month.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. You've been very kind, ma'am.
Julia.
Yes?
Come back here. Why did you thank me?
For the money.
The money? Don't you realize what I've done? I've cheated you. I've robbed you. There were no such notes in my book. I made the whole thing up out of my mind. Instead of the 80 rubles which I owe you, I gave you only 10. I've actually stolen from you, and still you thank me. Why?
The other places that I've worked, they didn't give me anything at all.
Then they cheated you even worse than I did. I was playing a little joke on you. A cruel lesson just to teach you. You're much too trusting. In this world, that can be very dangerous. Going to give you the entire 80 rubles. It's all ready for you. It's in this envelope. Take it.
As you wish, ma'am.
Julia, is it possible to be so spineless? Why don't you protest? Why don't you speak up? Why don't you cry out against this cruel and unjust treatment? Is it really possible to be so guileless, to be so innocent, to be such a... Pardon me for being so blunt, such a simpleton?
Yes, ma'am. It's possible.
Peter Semyonich was the greatest seducer of other men's wives that I've ever met. He was successful with all women, for that matter, but there was a special challenge to beautiful women married to prominent, rich, successful men. But I could never do him justice. Let him tell you in his own words. If I may say so myself, I'm the greatest seducer of other men's wives that I've ever met. Well, I say this not boastfully, but as a matter of record. The staggering figures speak for themselves. For those men interested in pursuing this highly satisfying but often dangerous game, I urge you to take out pen and paper and make notes. I'm about to explain my methods. Now then, to seduce a man's wife, you must, I repeat, must, keep as far away from her as possible. Pay her practically no attention at all. Ignore her if you must. We will get to her through the husband. You're about to witness a practical demonstration. For as it happens, I'm madly, deeply in love this week. My heart pounds with excitement, knowing she will pass through this garden in a few moments with her husband. Every fiber of my being tells me to throw my arms around her and embrace her with all the passion in my heart. But observe how a master works. I shall be cool, almost to the point of freezing. My heart of hearts and spouse approaches.
Ah, Peter Semyonich. Fancy meeting you here.
Oh, my dear Nikolaich, how good to see you again. You're looking well. Notice how I'm not looking at her.
Thank you. And you gay devil, you're always looking well. Oh, excuse me. Have you met my wife, Irena? Of course you have. You sat next to her at dinner at the Vesnovs. Irena, my dear, I don't know what this charmer said to you at dinner, but I must warn you, he is a scoundrel, a notorious bachelor, and an exceptional swordsman. That's the best I can say for you, Peter.
You exaggerate, Nicky. Madam, good to see you again.
We were just taking a stroll. If you're not busy, why don't you walk with us?
Oh, that's very kind of you, Nikolaich. But as a matter of fact, I'm riveted to this spot.
Riveted, you say?
Well, a new romance has just entered my life, and my legs are like pillars of granite. Until she's out of my sight, I will be incapable of movement. Too much, do you think? As I said, be patient.
Fantastic. You never cease to amaze me. Pretty, I suppose.
Suppose magnificent, suppose glorious, and you suppose correctly.
Any complications?
As usual, a husband. I'm afraid my cause looks hopeless.
Nonsense. I'm placing my money on you, Peter, and you know I never bet unless I'm sure of winning. Well, we're off. Good hunting, my boy. Good hunting.
Madame? Beautifully done, don't you think? I'm sometimes awed by the work of a true professional. Did you notice our eyes barely met? We exchanged hardly a word, and yet how much she knows of me already. A, I'm a popular bachelor. B, a man in love, always titillating to romantic women. C, a gifted sportsman, a nice contrast to a sedentary husband. And D, and this is most important, a dangerous man with the ladies. By the way, are you getting all this down? It gets tricky from here on in. Now then, next step, hypnosis. Not hypnosis with your eyes, but with the poison of your tongue. Rather like a venomous snake moving in for the kill. And once again, the best channel is the husband himself. Witness, as I accidentally run into him one day at the club.
Oh. Peter, you're looking glum. I take it your pursuit isn't going well.
Is it so obvious? Oh, I'm doomed, Nicky. I haven't seen her since last I met you and your dear wife. I sleep little, eat less. I've had all my shirt collars taken in half an inch. Oh, Nicky, Nicky. Why do I waste my valuable youth chasing women I can never truly call my own? How I envy you.
Me? What is there about me that you envy?
Why, your marriage, of course. She's a charming woman, your wife, let me tell you.
What is there about her that fascinates you so?
Oh, her grace, her quiet charm, everything. But mostly it's the way she looks at you, Nicky. Oh, God, if only someone would look at me like that, with such loving, adoring eyes. It must send quivers through your body.
Quivers? I don't recall quivers.
A tingle, perhaps? Don't tell me you don't tingle when she looks at you.
Oh, of course, by all means. I tingle all the time.
She's an ideal woman. You leave a lonely bachelor and be glad fate gave you a wife like that.
Perhaps fate will be as kind to you one day.
That's what I'm counting on. Good heavens, I'm late for my doctor's appointment.
What's he treating you for?
Melancholia.
Oh.
Please say hello to your extraordinary wife, but I urge you not to repeat our conversation to her. It might embarrass her fragile sensitivities. Oh, where is the woman for me? I know where. The question is, how soon will she be mine? There's still work to be done, but not by me. That task falls to my aide and accomplice. Oh, by the way, I saw Peter Semyonich today.
Oh, by the way, I saw Peter Semyonich today.
Who?
Peter Semyonich, the bachelor. We met him last week in the gardens. That attractive fellow, you remember?
I remember what a loathsome man he is.
You may not think so when you hear what he had to say about you.
Nothing that braggart had to say would interest me.
He spoke most enthusiastically about you. He was enraptured by your grace, your quiet charm. He seemed to feel you were capable of loving a man in some extraordinary way. It was something about your eyes and the way they were able to look so adoringly. He certainly had a lot to say about you. He went on and on. Well, good night, my dear.
Good night, Nicky. What else?
Hmm?
What else did he have to say about me?
Peter?
Whatever that loathsome man's name is. What else did Peter Semyonich have to say about me?
Well, that's more or less it, what I told you.
But you said he went on and on.
He did?
But you stopped. If he went on and on, don't stop. Either go on and on or let's go to bed.
Well, he said how much he envied me and how much he wanted someone to look at him the way you look at me.
How does he know how I look at you?
Well, that day in the gardens, he must have been looking at you when you were looking at me. It sent a tingle through my whole body.
The way I looked at you?
Exactly, my precious.
But you were looking at him. You couldn't have seen how I was looking at you. As a matter of fact, I was looking at the flowers because he made me nervous the way he kept avoiding looking at me. You must have tingled for some other reason.
It's getting rather confusing. The point is, he found you fascinating. I thought it would please you.
Well, it doesn't. I would rather you didn't tell me such stories. Are you planning on seeing him again soon?
Yes, tomorrow for lunch.
Well, I would rather not be discussed over lunch. Tell him that. And at dinner, you can tell me what he said. Good night, Nicky.
Good night, my angel.
Good night, my love. I'm spellbound by my own powers. I succeeded not only in piquing her interest, but in causing her heart to flutter at the very mention of my name. The same man she called loathsome not 2 minutes ago. All this was accomplished, mind you, while I was at home taking a pine-scented bath. Luncheon the next day was not only nourishing, but productive. Oh, by the way, old man, I ran into Nekrasov yesterday, the artist. Seems he's been commissioned to paint the head of a typical Russian beauty. He asked me to look out for a model for him. I said I knew just the woman, but I didn't dare ask her myself. What do you think about asking your wife?
Asking my wife what?
Why, to be the model, of course. That lovely head of hers. Be a damn shame for that exquisite face to miss the chance to be immortalized for all the world.
For all the world. Really? I see what you mean.
Why don't you discuss it with her?
Perhaps I'll discuss it with her.
So I said I would discuss it with you. What do you think?
I think it's nonsense. How did he put it to you? I mean, did he actually say a typical Russian beauty?
Precisely, and that it would be a damn shame if that exquisite face missed the chance to become immortalized for all the world. That's exactly what he said.
He gets carried away by his own voice. Those exact words? You didn't leave anything out.
Oh, that lovely face. I left out that lovely face. He said that a number of times, I think.
He does go on, doesn't he? How many times did he say it? Once? Twice? What?
Oh, it's hard to remember. Let me think.
Oh, it's not important. But in the future, I wish we'd write these things down.
Have you seen me near her? Have you heard me speak to her? Has any correspondence passed between us? No, my dear pupil. And yet she hangs on my every word uttered by her husband. Awesome, isn't it? We apply this treatment from 2 to 3 weeks. Her resistance is weakening. Weakening. Weakening.
You seem quiet tonight, Nicky. Nothing to tell me?
About what?
About anything. About business, about the weather, about Peter Semyonich.
Peter? Oh, I think his mind is elsewhere, if you ask me. On some woman from the looks of him.
What woman? Did he mention any woman in particular?
Oh, no, he's much too discreet for that. He'd protect her good name at any cost. Instead, he talks of you all day. Poor fool. I'm beginning to feel sorry for him.
It's really none of our concern, Nicky. Did you ask him to dinner tomorrow?
Busy.
Next day?
Busy.
Next week? Next month? When doesn't the man eat?
He says he's involved in a very important project, and it may be months before he can see us. He did say that with patience and persistence, good things would come to him. Oh, by the way, he thinks you ought to go on the stage.
The stage? Me? On the stage? Why in heaven's name?
Well, he said... Just a moment. I don't want to misquote him.
No. Take your time. Try to get it as accurately as possible.
Yes. He said, with such an attractive appearance, such intelligence, sensitiveness, it's a sin for her to be just a housewife.
Oh, dear, he said that.
And that ordinary demands don't exist for such women.
Nicky, I don't think I want to hear any more.
Natures like that should not be bound by time and space.
Nicky, I implore you, please stop.
And then he says, if I weren't so busy, I'd take her away from you.
He said that?
Yes, right here. If I weren't so busy, I'd take her away from you.
Well, what did you say, Nicky? It's important I know what you said to him then.
Well, then I said, take her then. I'm not going to fight a duel over her. Take her then.
Nicky, you mustn't discuss me with him anymore. I beg you not to mention my name to him ever again.
But I don't. He's the one who always brings up the subject. He actually accused me of not understanding you. He shouted at me. He shouted, "She's an exceptional creature, strong, seeking a way out. If I were Turgenev, I would put her in a novel. The Passionate Angel, I would call it." The man is weird, definitely weird.
He's delivering my love letters, sealing them with kisses, and he calls me weird. Now I ask you. The sweet poison is doing its work. I am relentless. There's no room for mercy in the seducing business. Observe how deftly the final stroke is administered. For the faint-hearted, I urge you, look away.
No, Nicky, I don't want to hear. Not another word from him, nothing.
But exactly, that's what he said. He begged me to tell you nothing. He said he knew because of your sweet, sympathetic nature, you would worry to hear of someone else's distress.
He's in distress?
Worse. He's gloomy, morose, morbid, in the depths of despair.
Oh, no, but why? What's the matter with him?
Loneliness. He says he has no relatives, no true friends, not a soul who understands him.
But doesn't he know we understand him perfectly? Doesn't he know how much we appreciate him and commune with him daily? Doesn't he know how much we yearn to be with him, you and I?
I tried to make that clear. I again urged him to come home to dinner with me. But he says he can't face people. He is so depressed, he can't stay at home. He paces in the public garden where we met him every night.
What time?
Between 8 and 9. Oh, by the way, we're invited to the Voskevex tomorrow. Is 8 o'clock all right for you?
Oh, no. I'm visiting Aunt Sophia tomorrow. She's ill. I'll be there at 9. Or a little after.
Please, no applause. I couldn't have done it alone. I share the honors with my good friend and collaborator, her husband. He wooed her so successfully, there's no carriage fast enough to bring her to my arms. She ran all the way. Observe. And now for the conclusion. You will understand if I ask you to busy yourselves. These next few moments are private. And I am, after all, a gentleman. Oh, my dear. My sweet, dear angel. At last I can speak the words I've longed so long.
No, not a word. Not a sound. Please, I couldn't bear it. Not until you've heard what's in my heart. Oh, for weeks now I have been in torment. You have used my husband as a clever and devious device to arouse my passions, which I freely admit have been lying dormant these past 7 years. Whether you are sincere or not, you have awakened in me desires and longings I never dreamt were possible. You appeal to my vanity and I succumb. You bestir my thoughts of untold pleasures and I weaken. You attack my every vulnerability and I surrender. I am here, Peter Semyonich, if you want me. But let me add this. I love my husband dearly. Oh, he's not a passionate man, nor remotely romantic. Our life together reaches neither the heights of ecstasy nor the depths of anguish. We have an even marriage, moderate and comfortable. And in accepting this condition and the full measure of his devoted love, I have been happy. I come to you now knowing that once you take me in your arms, my marriage and my life with Nicky will be destroyed for all time. I am too weak and too selfish to make that choice. I rely on your strength of character. The option is yours, my dear Peter. I am yours to do with as you will. If you want me, open your arms now and I will come to you. If you love me, turn your back and I will leave and never see or speak to you again. The choice, my dearest, sweetest love of my life is yours. I await your decision. God bless you, Peter Semyonich. I wish that life brings you the happiness you have just brought to me.
Peter Semyonich, the former seducer of other men's wives, from this day forward turned his attentions to single, unmarried women only. Until one day, the perfect girl came along, and our confirmed bachelor married at last. Today, he is a completely happy man. Except possibly on those occasions when some dashing young officer tells him how attractive he finds his lovely young wife. Just getting a little night air to clear my mind. Ah, that's good. That's wonderful. The sea air is so refreshing. It revitalizes my entire body. But my mind is blocked. I have no thoughts, no ideas. Most unusual for me. And still I have the urge to write. Well, this won't last long. It's just temporary. It's getting to be an awfully long temporary. Nothing is coming. My nerves are tightening. Oh, God, help me. Oh, no. No, I take that back. I mustn't rely on a collaboration of the Almighty. What selfishness. To ask God to take time out to help me come up with an idea for a story. Oh, forgive me, dear Lord. I'll go home and try to sleep. Tomorrow is another day. If, however, anything does occur to you during the night, I'd appreciate you making it known to me. Even if it's just the germ of an idea. It doesn't have to be original. I'm very good at twisting things around. Oh, look how desperate I've become, asking the Lord to resort to plagiarism for my petty needs. Home. I must go home and to bed before this thing becomes serious.
Could I have a word with you, sir?
Oh, who's there? I can't see you in the dark.
Evening, sir. I was just wondering if you might be in the mood for a little entertainment, amusement, so to speak. A little diversion, if you know what I mean.
Well, I think I do know what you mean, and I'm not interested. Now, go on, be off with you. You should know better than to make such a proposal to a gentleman.
No. You've never witnessed anything like this before. This is a once-in-a-lifetime offer. I promise you that. Not even a little bit curious?
Oh, curiosity is the nature of my profession, but I try to keep it morally elevated. Excuse me.
Perhaps you're right, sir. On second thought, this might be too much for a gentleman of your sensitivities.
Wait.
Got you with that last one, didn't I?
Well, I'm just asking, mind you, but what exactly is this entertainment you speak of?
Well, sir, how would you like to see...
I beg your pardon?
I said, how would you like to see a drowned man?
A drowned man?
A drowned man. A man with his lungs filled with salt water and stone dead from drowning. How much would you pay to see that?
Pay? Pay to see a drowned man? You must be mad. Get out of my way.
3 rubles.
Now,
that's all it'll
go.
cost you. 3 rubles. To see him first before he's in the water, then in the agonizing act of drowning, and then the grand finale, the man already drowned. Rest his soul.
What are you saying? The man isn't drowned yet? That he's still alive and well?
Not only alive and well, but dry as a bone and standing before you. I am the drowned man.
You're going to drown yourself for 3 rubles? You expect to charge me for your own suicide? I must get away from this lunatic.
No. You've got it all wrong. I don't actually drown. I impersonate a drowned man. I jump into the icy cold water, splash around a bit, flail my arms, yell for help a few times, then go under. Then I come up, floating head down, all puffy-like. It sends a chill up your spine. 3 rubles for individual performances, special rates for groups. Show starts in 2 minutes. What do you say?
Why do I stand here listening to this?
I wish you'd make up your mind soon, sir. You see, in 5 minutes, that restaurant throws its garbage in the water. Then it gets messy. I have my pride.
Oh, to hell with your pride. It doesn't prevent you from earning a living imitating a deceased swimmer.
You sure know how to strike at a man's vulnerable points. That was cruel, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be cruel.
You completely overlooked the finer points to my profession. Look here. Did you ever see a coal miner at the end of a day? Filth and grime all over his body. Soot up his nostrils, in his ears. Black grit in his teeth. Disgusting. Or a barber who comes home at the end of a day with the cuttings of other people's hair sticking to his fingers, gets in his bread, in his soup. It's nauseating. Do you know where a surgeon puts his fingers?
Oh, please.
Or a farmer his feet? Every man who works eventually touches something filthy. What do?
I'm a writer.
Ink, ink. On the other hand, I deal with water. Water is wet, it's clean, it's purified. I don't have to take a bath when I come home at night. I've done it. Can you say the same, sir?
Do you think I'm going to discuss my toilet habits with you? My God, you're disgusting. There must be a carriage around here somewhere. Cabby! Cabby!
You'll regret it. You'll be back one night bored to death, dying to see a good drowning. And I'll be gone. This is my last week here. I close on Sunday. Next week, I'm in Yalta.
There's a police officer. If you don't leave me alone, I'm going to have you arrested for soliciting.
I am not soliciting. I am in the maritime entertainment business.
Drowning is not maritime entertainment. You are a waterfront lunatic. Officer! Officer!
I'm going. I'll tell you one thing. The drowning business isn't what it used to be.
Yes, sir. Can I help you, sir?
There's a man there behind the docks there. He's been pestering me all evening. I shouldn't be surprised if he were deranged.
A lot of bad characters around these docks at night, sir. A gentleman like you shouldn't be wandering around here. What was he pestering you about?
I warn you, you're going to find this strange. He wanted to charge me 3 rubles to watch him drown. Can you imagine?
3 rubles? It's outright thievery. It's not worth more than 60 kopecks. You can get as fine a drowning as you ever want to see and not pay a penny more. 3 rubles? What nerve!
Officer, you seem to miss the
There's
point.
2 brothers on the next pier for 1 ruble each. They'll give you a double drowning. You've got to know how to bargain with these men, sir. Get your money's worth.
It's not a question of price.
3 rubles? Why, just the other day, right over there, 14 men acted out an entire shipwreck for 3 rubles. On a good day for 10 rubles, you can get a whole navy going down. Yes, sir. 60 kopecks. That's all I'd pay for a good drowning. Stick to your price, sir, and have yourself a nice evening.
It's come. It's finally come. The day the world's gone mad has arrived at last.
What did you tell him?
Tell him? I told him the truth, that you are mentally unbalanced. Unfortunately, he was a little more mentally unbalanced than you.
Still, I appreciate you not causing me any trouble. And in gratitude, I am going to reduce my price to an all-time low, 80 kopecks.
80? 80, you thief! You conniving, wretched, deceiving little thief! I won't give you more than 60.
60? 60 kopecks for a drowning? Where's my profit? My towels cost me 40 kopecks. Another 40 for the fellow who fishes me out. That's a 40. What's the point? I'd be losing money. I might as well stay under.
You can't cheat me, sir. 60 kopecks for the drowning. Take it or leave it.
You're a hard man, sir. A hard man. 60 kopecks it is. Oh, I pray to God my son doesn't want to be a drowner.
30, 40, 50, 60. Now, there's your money. Where shall I stand?
Right on the edge of the dock, sir. Right up close. That's where you see all the action.
Looks a bit dark down there. You sure I'll be able to see well?
That's what makes it so eerie. The eerier, the more entertaining. All the action's in the last 10 seconds anyway. Well, here I go. Oh, I almost forgot. When I come up for the 3rd time, yell at the top of your lungs, Popnichevsky, Popnichevsky.
Who's Popnichevsky?
He's the fellow who jumps in after me. I can't swim.
You can't swim? You mean you're going to drown without knowing how to swim?
That's what makes it so exciting. Popnichevsky always waits till the last second before jumping in and pulling me out. He's in that restaurant now having a drink. Popnichevsky. Don't forget that name. It means a lot to me. Well, I hope you enjoy the show. If you like it, tell your friends. In the soup, as we say. Help! Help! I'm drowning! I can't swim!
Over here, a little toward me. I can't see you too well there.
Oh, God, help!
Oh, yes. That's good. That's very good. Yes, well, that's enough of that. No, I don't want to see that part anymore. I haven't got all night. Can you drown now? Can you hear me? I would like you to drown now. Where the devil did he go? Ah, there you are. Yeah. Ah, that's the 3rd time, isn't it? Good heavens. What was that fellow's name? Next actress, please. She better be good. She's the last. Next actress, please. Name?
What?
Your name.
Oh, Nina.
Is that it? Just Nina?
Yes, sir. Oh, no, sir. Nina Mikhailovna Serichnaya.
Age?
My age?
Yes, that means, how old are you?
How old are you looking for?
Couldn't you just answer the question simply, please?
Oh, yes, sir. I just wanted you to know that I can be any age you want. 16, 30. Why, in school, I played a 78-year-old woman with rheumatism, and everyone said it was very believable. A 79-year-old rheumatic woman told me so herself.
Yes, but we're not looking for a 78-year-old rheumatic woman. We're looking for a 22-year-old girl. Now, how old are you?
22, sir.
Really? I would have guessed 27, 28.
Well, I have a bad head cold, sir. It makes me look older. Why, last year when I had the influenza, the doctor thought I was 39. I promise I can be 22 when you need it, sir.
Do you have a temperature?
Yes, sir. 103.
Good God, what are you doing walking around in the dead of winter with 103 temperature? Go home, child. Go to bed. You can come back some other time.
Oh, no, sir. I waited 6 months to get this audition. I waited 3 months just to get on the 6-month waiting list. Why, if they put me at the end of that list again, I'll have to wait another 6 months. By then, I'll be 23. It'll be too late to be 22. Oh, please, 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 won't you just hear me read, sir? I'm really feeling much better. My temperature's down to 101 now.
Well, I can see you have your heart set on being an actress.
Oh, my heart, my soul, my very breath. The bones in my body, the blood in my veins.
Yeah, we've had enough of your medical history, but what practical experience have you had?
As what?
Well, for example, what we're discussing, acting. How much acting experience have you had?
You mean on a stage?
Well, that's as good a place as any.
Well, I studied acting for 3 years under Madame Zoblienska.
She teaches here in Moscow?
No, in my school in Odessa. Oh, but she was a great actress herself.
In Moscow?
No, Odessa.
You are then, strictly speaking, an amateur.
Well, yes, sir, in Moscow. In Odessa, I am a professional.
Oh, yes, that's all very well, but we're looking for a 22-year-old professional actress in Moscow. Odessa, though I grant you a lovely city, theatrically speaking, is not Moscow. I advise you to get some more experience and take some aspirin.
But I traveled 4 days to get here, sir. Won't you please just hear me read?
My dear child, I find this most embarrassing.
Even if you did not employ me, just to read for you would be a memory I would cherish for all of my life. If I may be so bold, sir, I think you are the greatest living author in all of Russia.
Really? Well, that's very kind of you. Perhaps we do have a few minutes.
Oh, I have read everything you've written. Why, the articles, the stories. I loved the one of... I loved the one... I'm so sorry, but every time I think about it, I can't control myself.
Really? Which one was that?
The death of a government clerk.
The death of... I don't remember that. What was that about?
Chekhov? The sneeze? The sneezing splatterer?
Ah, yes. Yeah. You found that funny, did you? It's strange. I meant it to be sad.
Oh, it was sad. I cried for days. It was tragically funny.
Was it really? And of all the things you've read, what was your favorite?
My very favorite?
Yes, what was it?
War and Peace.
I didn't write that.
I know, sir. You asked me what my favorite was.
Well, you're an honest little thing, aren't you? It's refreshing. Irritating, but refreshing. What are you going to read for me?
Oh, I should like to read from the Three Sisters.
Yes, which sister?
All of them, if you have the time.
All of them? Good heavens, why don't you read the whole play while you're at it?
Oh, thank you, sir. I know it all. Act 1, a drawing room in the Prosorov's house. It is midday. A bright sun is shining through large French doors.
That won't be necessary. An excerpt will do nicely, please.
Oh, yes, sir.
I should like to do the last moment of the play.
Good, good. That shouldn't take too long. And whenever you're ready.
Oh, I've been ready for 6 months, not counting the 3 months I waited to get on the 6-month waiting list.
Please begin.
Yes, sir. Oh, excuse me, but, could you please say, ta-ra-ra-boom-de-ay, sit on the curb, I may?
Certainly not. Why should I say something so idiotic?
I don't know. You wrote it. Chibutkin says it at the end of the play. It would help me greatly if you could say just that one line. I walked all the way from Odessa.
All right, all right. Very well, then. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Ta-ra-ra-boom-de-ay. Sit on the curb, I may.
And Marsha says, oh, shh. Oh, listen. The music. They are leaving us. One has gone for good, forever. We are left alone to begin our life all over again. We must live. We must live. And Irina says, a time will come when everyone will know what all this is for. Why there is all this suffering. And there will be no mysteries. But meanwhile, we must live. We must work. Only work. Tomorrow I shall go alone, and I shall teach in the school, and I shall give my whole life to those who need it. Now it is autumn. Soon winter will come and cover everything with snow, and I shall go on, working, working. Shall I finish?
Please.
And Olya says, oh, the music plays so gaily, so valiantly one wants to live. Oh, my God. Time will pass, and we shall be gone forever. Forgotten. Our faces will be forgotten, our voices, how many there were of us. But our sufferings will turn into joy for those who live after us. Happiness and peace will come to this earth. And then they will remember kindly and bless those who are living now. Oh, my dear sisters. It seems as if just a little more and we shall know why we live, why we suffer. If only we knew. If only we knew. Thank you, sir. That's all I wanted. You've made me very happy. God bless you, sir.
Will someone go get her before she walks all the way back to Odessa?
Good morning, Mr. Kostunov.
Shh. Please, Pachotkin, lower your voice.
I'm sorry, sir.
It's just that my gout is acting up again, and my nerves are like little firecrackers. The least little friction can set them off.
It must be very painful, sir.
Oh, combing my hair this morning was agony.
There's a woman outside who insists on seeing you. We can't make head or tail out of her story, but she insists on seeing the managing director. Perhaps if you're not well.
Oh, no. The business of the bank comes before my minor physical ailments. Show her in, please, quietly. Good morning, madam. Forgive me for not standing, but I am somewhat incapacitated. Please sit down.
Thank you.
Now, what can I do for you?
It's my husband. It's collegiate assessor Shukin. He's been sick now for 5 months. 5 agonizing months.
Yes, I know the horrors of illness and can sympathize with you, madam. What is the nature of his disease?
It's a nervous disorder. Everything grates on his nerves. If you so much as touch him, he cries out. Ah! How or why he got it, nobody knows.
I have an inkling. Please go on, madam, a little less descriptively, if possible.
While he's lying in bed these 5 months recuperating, they dismissed him from his job. For no reason at all.
Yes, well, that's a pity, certainly, but I don't quite see the connection with our bank.
You don't know
madam.
how I suffered during his illness. I nursed him from morning till night. I doctored him from night until morning, besides cleaning my house, taking care of the children, feeding my dog, my cat, my sister's bird who was sick.
Bird was sick?
My sister, she gets dizzy spells. She's been dizzy a month. She's getting dizzier every day.
That's extraordinary. However,
So
I don't...
I had to take care of her children and her house and her dog and her goat. And then her bird bit one of my children. So my cat bit her bird. So my oldest daughter, the one with a broken arm, drowned my sister's cat. And now my sister wants my goat in exchange, or else she said she'll drown my cat or break my oldest daughter's other arm.
Yes, well, you've certainly had your pack of troubles, haven't you?
And then
But
when I
don't
went to
quite
pick up my husband's pay, they had deducted 24 rubles and 36 kopecks. For what? I asked. Because they said he had borrowed it from the employees' fund, but that's impossible. Because he could never borrow it without my approval. I would break his arm. Not while he was sick, of course. I don't have the strength. I am not a well person. I have this racking cough. That's a terrible thing to hear.
Yes, well, I can well understand why it took your husband 5 months to recuperate. But what is it you want from me, madam?
I want what rightfully belongs to my husband. I want his 24 rubles and 36 kopecks. They won't give it to me because I'm a woman and I'm weak and defenseless.
Madam, I don't wish to be unkind, but I'm afraid you've come to the wrong place. Your petition, no matter how justified, has nothing to do with us. You must go to the agency where your husband was employed.
What do you mean? What do you mean? I have been to 5 agencies. None of them will even listen to my petition. I am about to lose my mind. The hair is coming out of my head. Look at that. Look at my hair. By the fistful. Don't tell me to go to another agency.
Please, madam, keep your hair in its proper place. Now, listen to me carefully. This is a bank. A bank. We are in the banking business. We bank money. Funds that are brought here are banked by us. Do you understand what I'm saying?
What are you saying?
I'm saying that I cannot help you.
You're saying that you cannot help me?
I'm trying. I don't think I'm making headway.
Are you saying you don't believe that my husband is sick? Huh? Here. Here is the doctor's certificate. There is the proof. You still doubt that my husband is suffering from a nervous disorder?
Not only do I not doubt it, I could swear to it.
Look at it. You didn't look at it.
It's really not necessary. I know full well how your husband must be suffering.
What's the point of a doctor's certificate if you don't look at it? Look at it.
Ah, yes. Yes, I see your husband is sick. It says so right here in the doctor's certificate. Well, you certainly have a good case, madam, but I'm afraid you still come to the wrong place. Oh, I'm getting excited.
You lied to me. I took you as a man of your word. You lied.
I lied? When?
When you said you read the doctor's certificate you couldn't have. Don't take advantage of me because I'm a woman and I'm weak and defenseless. Do me the simple courtesy of reading the doctor's certificate. That's all I ask. Read it. Then I'll go.
But I read it. What's the point in reading something twice when you've already read it once?
You didn't read it carefully.
I read it in detail.
Maybe you read it too fast. Read it slower.
I don't have to read it slowly. I'm a fast reader.
Maybe you didn't absorb it. Let it sink in this time.
I absorbed it. It sank in. I could pass a test on what's written here, but it doesn't make any difference because it has nothing to do with our bank.
Read the part where it says he's suffering from a nervous disorder. Read that part again.
Oh,
See
that
if
part,
I'm
yes,
wrong.
yes, I see your husband is suffering from a nervous disorder. My, how terrible. Only I can't help you, so please go.
Oh. Oh.
No! Oh, please don't kiss my foot!
Sorry, Rex. I didn't mean to cause you.
Can't you get this through your balding head? If you could just realize that to come to us with this kind of a claim is as strange as you're trying to get a haircut in a butcher shop.
You can't get a haircut in a butcher shop. Why would anybody go to a butcher shop for a haircut? Are you laughing at me?
Laughing? I'm lucky I'm breathing, Butchotkin!
Did I tell you I'm fasting? I haven't eaten anything for 3 days. I try to eat. Nothing stays down. I drank the same cup of coffee 3 times today.
Butchotkin!
Oh, look at me. I'm skin and bones. You see, I faint at the least provocation. Watch. Watch. Oh.
What is it, Mr. Kostunov? What's wrong?
Who let in this balding lunatic with a doctor's certificate?
He wouldn't even read it. I gave it to him. He threw it back in my face. You look like a kind person, sir. Have pity on me. Read the doctor's certificate. See if my husband is sick or not.
I read it, madam, twice.
Me too. I had to read it twice, too.
You just showed it to me outside. You showed it to everyone. We all read it. Even the doorman.
You didn't read it. You just looked at it.
Don't argue. Read it, Butchotkin. For God's sake, read it so we can get her out of here.
Oh, yes. It says here that your husband is sick. Now, will you please leave, or I'll have to get someone to remove you.
Yes, good. Remove her. Get the doorman and 2 of the guards. Be careful. She's strong as an ox.
If you touch me, I will scream so loud they will hear it all over the city. You will lose all your depositors. Nobody will come to your back when they beat weak, defenseless women.
I think I'm going to faint.
Weak? Defenseless? You are as defenseless as a charging rhinoceros. You are as weak as the king of the jungle. You are a plague, madam. A plague that wipes out all that crosses its path. You are a raging river that washes out bridges and stately homes. You are a wind that blows villages over mountains. It is women like you who drive men like me to the condition of husbands like yours.
Are you saying you're not going to help me?
Hit her, Butchotkin. Strike her. I give you permission to knock her down. Beat some sense into her.
You hear that? You hear how he abuses me? He'd have you hit an orphan mother. Did you hear me cough? Listen to this cough.
Madam, if we could discuss this in my office.
Help! Oh, God, help! They're beating me.
I am not beating you. I am just holding your arm.
No!
Beat her, you fool! Kick her while you got the chance. We'll never get her out of here. Knock her senseless.
A curse! A curse on this bank! A curse on you and on your depositors! May the money in your vaults turn to potatoes. May the gold in your cellars turn to onions. May your rubles turn to radishes and your kopecks to pickles.
Stop! Stop, I beg of you. Butchotkin, give her what she wants. Give her anything. Just get her out of here.
24 rubles and 36 kopecks, and not a penny more. That's all that's due me, and that's all I want.
Come with me, and I'll get you your money.
And another ruble to get me home. I'd walk, but I have very weak ankles.
Give her enough for a taxi. Give her anything. Just get her out.
God bless you, sir. God bless you. You're a kind man. Oh, I remove the curse. Curse be gone. Onions to money. Potatoes to rubles.
Remove her! Oh, my God, my hair's falling out now.
There's one more thing, sir. I need a letter of recommendation so my husband can have another job. No, don't you bother yourself about it now. Oh, I'll be back in the morning. God bless you, sir.
She's coming back. She's coming back. She's coming back. She's coming back. This one goes back a good many years to my youth. I was 19 years old, to be exact, and in the ways of love, I was not only unschooled, I hadn't even been in the classroom. I was so innocent and shy, I actually thought that since the beginning of time, no woman had ever been completely unclothed. As for connubial bliss, I dared not think of it. As for impregnation, I chose to believe it was caused by the husband giving the wife a most ardent handshake before retiring and let it go at that. But my father was a wonderful man. quite liberal in his thinking, and on the occasion of my 19th birthday, he decided to introduce me to the mysteries of love. He was, however, a frugal man, and decided to escort me himself to see, in the matter of bargaining, that I would not be taken advantage of. Picture me, if you will, as my own dear father. Antasha! Antasha, where are you? Ah. Well, don't stand there in the dark, shaking like a puppy dog. Come here. We have some adolescence to get over with.
I'm not well, Father. I'm sick.
Sick? Sick? What's wrong with you?
I haven't thought of it yet. Give me a few minutes.
Fear, that's all it is. Pubescent fear. I was the same way when I was your age.
I never knew you were my age. I always thought of you as older.
How old do you think I was when I was with my first woman?
You were with a woman, Father?
Of course I was with a woman. All men who become fathers have been with a woman at some point in their lives.
The same woman?
Certainly not the same woman. My God, don't you ever discuss these matters with your young friends?
Oh, yes, all the time. But we get too excited to listen.
It is a man's obligation to enter marriage experienced in the ways of love. Otherwise, valuable years are wasted in endless groping.
I don't mind wasting a few years groping, Father.
It's all in the process of becoming a man, Antasha. First you learn to walk, then you learn to talk, and now it's time to learn this.
Are you sure, Father? I'm really not walking and talking that well.
Antasha, we can't afford to delay any longer. Now, are you going to walk in there and have your first experience with a woman, or do I have to punish you?
Father, I don't think we're going to find any women of high moral character around here.
We're not looking for high moral women. There are too damn many high-moral women in the world as it is. That's why so many high-moral men have to come down to places like this. Now, let's get on with this business.
Can I hold your hand, Father?
Certainly not. You can't go in there to become a man holding your father's hand. Antasha, we don't have all night. Your mother is expecting us home by 9 o'clock. Now, we have exactly an hour and 10 minutes for you to mature.
You mean you told Mother where we were going?
Do you think I'm so insensitive? I told her we were going out for a walk just to get some night air.
Well, won't she become suspicious when she notices that I've come home all grown up?
It doesn't show, Antasha. You don't get spots like measles. You may have a small smile on your face, that's all. Now, come along.
Father, aren't there other ways to become a man? I mean, couldn't I grow a mustache?
Antasha, tell me the truth. If you'd rather not go through with it, I'll take you home.
Take me home.
Wait till I ask the question. Would you rather not go through with it? Shall I take you home?
Take me home.
I see. Very well, we'll go home. You can sit in your tub and play with your sailboats till you're ready.
Will you be angry with me?
No.
Will you be disappointed with me?
No.
Will you be proud of me?
No.
All right, I'll do it.
Good boy, Antasha.
If I like it, can we do it again?
No, I didn't bring you down here with the intention of leaving you here. My God, it's a difficult business being a liberal father.
Evening, gentlemen.
Oh, God.
Steady, boy, steady.
Is she one of the teachers?
Yes, possibly even the principal. We're in luck, my boy. She's a charming-looking girl. I will go over and attend to your tuition.
Father, couldn't I take a correspondence course?
No. Stand there, don't move, I'll be right back. And stop twiddling your hat. This is not hat-twiddling business. Good evening, madam. A charming April night, wouldn't you say?
Is it April already? I don't get out very much.
Well, no. I can well understand that. It's been a long time since I've been involved in such matters, but I would like to discuss with you a subject of some delicacy.
30 rubles.
So much for delicacy. 30 rubles, you say. Well, speaking for myself, I'd say that's quite fair, but it's not for me. It's for my young, inexperienced son. That's him, the one with the knees buckling.
It's still 30 rubles, sir. We don't have children's prices down here.
No, of course not, but 30 rubles does seem a bit high for a boy of 19. Would you consider 15 rubles?
Sir, a Norwegian ship is due in here tonight. I have to go in and put on my blonde wig.
Oh, wait. There is an extenuating circumstance. It's the boy's birthday, and I wanted to give him a nice gift. What do you say?
How about an umbrella?
Now, see here. In my day, 30 years ago, I shared the pleasures with the most delightful girl on the street. Ilka the milkmaid, she was called. She cost me a mere 10 rubles.
Well, she's still here. If you want her, she's down to 6 rubles now.
Well, certainly not. Good heavens. He's really a lovely boy. Fragile and sweet. Tells the most delightful stories. I'm sure you'll find him most entertaining.
Haven't you got it the wrong way around, sir?
Father, I'm getting chilly.
Well, run around, jump up and down, be patient. You've waited 19 years. It's just another few minutes. 20 rubles, not a kopeck more. There's just so much I'm willing to spend on education. Please, it's for my boy.
Settled. You're a good and loving father, sir. I respect you for that. If I had had a father like you, I wouldn't have ended up here on the streets bargaining with fathers like you.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a moral in there somewhere. I just don't see it yet. There, settled for 20 rubles. Oh, there is just one other request I have. At the conclusion of this evening's festivities, I would appreciate it greatly if you would just say, happy birthday from Papa.
Happy birthday from Papa.
Yes.
Would you like any candles, sir?
Oh, no, that won't be necessary. Just be gentle and kind to him. Gentleness, that's all I ask. Good heavens, a tear. What a thing to cry over. Please forgive me.
I never had anybody cry over me before.
It's just that he's my only son.
I'll wait upstairs. 2 flights up. Second door on the left. I'll be gentle, sir.
Thank you. The girls nowadays seem so much more understanding.
May I say, it is men like you who make me proud to serve in my profession.
What a wonderful nurse she would have made. Well, school's in, Natasha. Settled for 20 rubles. You have to know how to bargain with these people. Well, off you go. 2 flights up, second door on the left. I'll wait here. Don't rush.
Do I say anything to her, Father?
Like what?
Like, hello.
Hello would be nice. And when you leave, goodbye would be good, too. Now, go on. She's waiting.
Are there any instructions you want to give me?
Well, that's what I'm paying her good money for, the questions you ask. Go on, boy, before I have to pay her overtime.
Yes, Father, I'm going.
Well, what is it now?
It's funny. But when I come down those stairs and out into the street, I won't be your little Antosha anymore. I'll be Anton the man. Thank you, Father. Well, goodbye.
Wait, Antosha.
What is it, Father?
Well, I was just thinking, wouldn't you really rather have a nice umbrella? I mean, there's plenty of time next year for you to become a man. Plenty of time next year.
If you wish, Papa. Yes, Papa.
I hope that portrait of my father came out with some affection. I loved him very much. And yet with him, as with all the other characters I've shared with you tonight, I have a sense of betrayal. When I put down my pen at the end of the day's work, I cannot help but feel that I've robbed my friends of their precious life fluid. What makes my conscience torment me even more is that I've had a wonderful time writing today. But before I go, what was it we were talking about early on, before the story of Chekhov? Ah, yes. I was about to say what it was as a child I most wanted to do with my life. Well, then. Funny, for the life of me, I can't remember. But somehow, as I stand here with a feeling of great peace and contentment, in some measure, I suspect I must be doing it.